Hello and welcome to Matchday Minus Two here on LCFC TV, Facebook and Twitter. I'm Dan Bates. Coming up on the show, we'll hear from Johnny Evans and Harvey Barnes, and we'll preview the game with Chelsea here at King Power Stadium on Saturday. Let's introduce our guests today, Gerry, Taggart and Matt Elliott. Good afternoon, guys.
Afternoon, Daniel.
Afternoon, Dan.
We have to start, unfortunately, though, Matt, with Tuesday evening. And it was such a disappointment, wasn't it?
Yeah, for a number of reasons. Just wasn't to be, was it? Wasn't to be, unfortunately. A lot of hype, a lot of build-up, a lot of expectations. Rightly so. You know, Leicester City semi-finals don't come around too often, as we well know, and certainly ones where they're favourites don't come around very often at all, do they? And that was the case. You know, the general consensus was that Leicester would make it through one way or another to the final. I think even the majority of Aston Villa fans probably thought that as well. But for one reason or another, did not materialise. And you know, goalkeepers playing well, opposition goalkeepers spurned opportunities maybe. Good attitude, good application from Aston Villa, you have to say, and quality when it counted. Dodgy refereeing official decisions there. You know, there was confusion, reigned a little bit in terms of the VAR situation. Many angles to look at, but ultimately, you know, Villa will say they earn the right to go through over two legs. You know, you get your chances. If you don't take them, then that can be the result. What happened?
Gerry, if you could put your finger on the main reason you think that Leicester didn't get through, what would you pick, do you think, over the two legs?
Keeper. Basically.
Simple as that.
I thought
Both legs, wasn't it?
I thought he was excellent at King Power, and I thought he was even better at Villa Park the other night. A save from Tielemans, that's still running through in my head, and I still can't understand how he's got to that.
Yeah, we'll see that one in a little bit, but I mean, obviously they brought Pepe Reina in the transfer window, and he maybe would have played had he not been injured as well.
I think, you know,
It would have, wouldn't it?
You've got to give Villa credit. You know, that's probably the best Villa have played all season, was on Tuesday night. From what I've seen, I've watched them live 3 times now this season, and that's definitely the best they've played in those 3 games. And obviously their results have been up and down all season, more down than up, you have to say. So that was a great performance by them. So you have to give them credit. But the keeper, you know, especially in that first 15, 20, 25 minutes where he was pulling off top save after top save. And you can be forgiven for thinking then, is it going to be our night? You know, and Matt mentioned the VAR decision as well, which, you know, I don't want to delve too deep into it, but that was a game-changing moment there. And how they didn't see that, or what, for whatever reason they give. Anyway, we'll move on. But I think you have to give Villa credit on the night. I thought they were a very, very good side, and they posed a threat throughout the game, even though for large periods of the game you could say Leicester were the better team, controlled the play, created more chances, but Villa did carry a threat.
Before we look at the nearly moments for Leicester, let's run through the goals, Matt. Obviously, as we said, we'll look at those chances, but that was the frustrating thing, I guess, from a Leicester point of view, because it was so early, the Villa opener, after Leicester had had such a period of sustained pressure. Yeah,
Leicester dominated early on, didn't they? But you know, James Maddison in particular had a few opportunities, strikes at goal, good saves by the keeper, as we mentioned. But Leicester got caught short here in this situation, as they did on a number of occasions, certainly after, but also on a couple of times previous as well. On that right-hand side, you know, Grealish is their main danger. Ricardo's gone to try and close that down, but Taggart was there just in acres of space on numerous occasions, really. No one in the right position to be able to track him back. I'm not saying it was lack of application, but that right-hand side of Leicester's, Villa's left, was so open, and it was their outlet on regular occasions. And I don't know, they needed to maybe look at that and try and address it better. And ultimately, you know, it cost them.
Well, you just seen there in the replay, Ricardo was scampering to get back, and so they'd obviously worked on that when Ricardo was further up the pitch. And they play with a 3-man front line, Villa. You know, then obviously Jack Grealish was isolated out on that left-hand side, and Matt Taggart, as you said, he was very, very quick in getting up and supporting Jack Grealish. And, you know, you can talk about the flick from Grealish. Did he mean flick.
It's ricocheted off himself.
Yeah, and it's popped up in the air, and it's perfect for Taggart to hit it on the half volley. If that's like a clean back heel, it's along the ground. Does Taggart, hit that strike? The answer to that is no. Does it go in the back line, or does he then think, well, I'm going to have to cross this?
That summed up the evening, really. In the move before they scored, there was a couple of 50-50s that just ricocheted Villa's way. That one ricocheted perfectly for Taggart.
One off the corner flag.
It was one of those evenings, the one off the corner flag as well. But, Gerry, Leicester did eventually get back into the game in the second half, and it was from Leicester's left this time, and Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes, he came out in the second half, and this is the third of his 3 runs, and and where he's just gone whizzing past the full-back. And here we see it again. Just can't live him. Good ball in there. And, Ian Nacho just sneaking into the back post on Mark Villa, you could say, would be disappointed. Will they mark him? But great play from Harvey Barnes. We've seen this time and time again from him. We've seen it 2 times previous in this game. But this time, he's hit the mark.
Good, Matt, for Harvey Barnes again. We've seen that he's contributed a lot of goals recently. He's now added that as well. There's been assists in there as well, you think, for the Ricardo strike here at King Power Stadium against West Ham. So he's really involving himself in goals.
Yeah, I think he was doing so earlier on in the season. He featured regularly in critical areas of the pitch and had a little bit of a drift out of form, if you like. But he's played himself right back into the thick of things, hasn't he? And he's been a vital part of a lot of crucial moments for Leicester of late, whether scoring or assisting. He's got that awareness about him, that football intelligence as well. He's not just an athlete, pace and power. He has precision about his play as well, but he still needs to tighten up a little bit. I think probably by his own admission, to create that consistency about his play. But without doubt, he's a threat. A lot of people from within football are sort of sitting up taking notice of him these days, aren't they? He's become a real feature for Leicester City, and starts more often than not, doesn't he? When Brendan puts out his strongest team. Yeah,
we will hear from Harvey Barnes a little bit later on in Matchday Minus Two. We thought as if that was the equaliser that may have led to penalties, Gerry, and heading into stoppage time, at least that's what we thought at Villa Park until they did go and get the winner.
Yeah, we were speaking about it. I was speaking about it personally. The last 10 minutes of the game, but is a crucial time in a tie like this, and it's all about the team that holds their nerve. And you speak about here the time and the space that El Mohammadi gets to pick that cross. By the time Demarai Gray comes to shut him down, it's too late because he's looked up, he's seen the pass he wants to play, and El Mohammadi, if he's one thing, he is very, very good at crossing the ball. He's shown it at Hull, he's shown it here at Villa throughout his career. So we knew that about him. I don't know whether or not there was a bit of indecision on who was going to go out and close him down, but I think preferably you'd have him crossing the ball, or if you go and close him down early, then he moves the ball out wide to the left full back area, Leicester's left full back area. That gives you less accuracy on your cross. Yes, you can put it into a good area, but El Mohammadi can look up and play that in-swinging ball, that out-swinging ball, that little curler, and that's exactly what happened. Now, on another day, that wouldn't have got there. It might have hit the defender on the head, but this is what happens in cup semi-finals, and you have to keep your nerve in them situations.
So before Villa's goal, obviously Leicester had all those chances. I guess the goal for Villa was a turning point. We'll look at those chances now, Matt, because again, on another day, Leicester could have been 2 or 3-0 up before Villa had scored.
Yeah, could have. They were predominantly half chances, weren't they? This was early on. Nacho, good strength up against Mings, and I think he can be forgiven for striking there from that acute angle because he was looking for the pullback. There were bodies arriving, but you'll see better from here. There weren't really any clear options for him as such. No. So he's done well there. I thought Kelechi did okay on the night. In fairness, all round. Generally, but half chances again. Good. It wasn't enough of this, to be honest. Enough direct running in behind, stretching the Villa defence. But that's a decent effort. What a save! The first of quite a few. Statistically, Leicester outmatched Villa, didn't they? In terms of over the two games, It was something ridiculous, like 42 shots at goal. Not necessarily all ended up on target, but I think Villa had, again, reportedly four on target, of which they scored 3. One of them was saved from Schmeichel by Trezeguet later on, but here again, flashed half chances really, and they couldn't really open up correctly. I can't remember seeing a chance thinking, that's the one. Is this the Tielemans strike?
No, we'll see that one in a minute.
Sorry, yeah. No, Maddison again with his left foot, wasn't it? Yeah. But, all good saves in their own right. But are you expecting Maddison to score from any of them? Not really. But, but Villa, when they, again, when Gerry talks about it, the credit to Villa, when they got opportunities, they were ruthless with them, weren't they? And, it could have been even worse earlier on with Samatta should have scored with the ball from Grealish. Similar position from El Mohammadi, but a little bit closer. So, as Gerry says, Villa were always a threat throughout the game, but I don't know. Probably more often than not, Leicester win that or go through. Yeah. Probably 6 times, 7 times out of 10. 3-4 times Villa, and it was their...
Unfortunately, one of those.
Yeah, it was their time, wasn't it?
Right in front of where we were sat, Gerry, in the press box, it's towards the left-hand side in front of the penalty area. We had a brilliant view, didn't we, of the Gerry Tielemans effort, and it looked for all the world like it was heading in.
Just crazy. When you watch it real time, the slow motion, let's put it this way, the slow motion doesn't do the save justice, because the way he hits it, Gerry here, that's as clean a strike as you can hit it. And for the keeper to be able to react that quick and get that much of a hand on it, and what you've got to remember as well, he's going across his body with his right hand. The experts would tell you you've got to use your left hand, but he's going across his body with his right hand, which I think is probably a little bit more difficult and takes a bit more time, to get it across.
It gives that a bit more height, doesn't it? That arm is actually higher, but hell of a strike. It was rushed in. There's all sorts happening there, isn't there?
Oh, it was a crazy passage of play, it has to be said. There was a penalty straight after it, but we'll say this is a great angle. Like that is, the ball doesn't move in there. That tells you how well Gerry Tielemans has struck that ball, because the ball is not moving. It's not spinning round.
That's a ridiculous save.
And
yeah, good save.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I guess with what happened with the James Maddison effort, the first one that did hit the arm, the second one then that was into the body of the second defender who blocked it, you don't know what maybe they'll have seen, but because it all happened so quickly and in such a manic minute, maybe that was part of the reasoning.
But it's yet to be declared, isn't it, whether they officially looked at the wrong incident or not. I don't know. They're obviously going to try and probably cover themselves on that instance, but it doesn't speak well of the VAR system generally, does it, if that was the case. But it was difficult to tell from first viewing myself, but the referee was right in line as well, wasn't he? He was right behind the shot there as well, so he must have got a clear view. You saw Ben Chilwell go, I know he's a Leicester player, so you're going to claim for more than you're probably entitled to. But when Maddison had a shot, Ben Chilwell was about 15, 20 yards further away than the referee. Straight away, his instinct, penalty, handball. You can tell some of them collectively that people go up together, don't they? It's not pre-manufactured or whatever. It's not like, well, we'll claim for everything we can. It's an instinctive reaction, and it tells you something, really. Now, at least worth a look.
Well,
they've got it wrong.
This is where the conversation goes back to why doesn't the ref go and look at the monitor? If he's not asking VAR, if he's saying the VAR, can you look at the second incident for handball? And whoever's in Stockley Park then runs through the tape slowly. Second one comes up and goes, right, no penalty, which it wasn't. But then sees the first one.
And did they see the first one?
Well, they must do. They have to have seen it.
No, but what I'm saying, Taves, we don't get shown how it works, because we said we wouldn't go on about this too much, but the first shot happened, didn't it? That was the penalty claim. But then the second shot, so the referee goes, I want to look at this. He might have cut it after that shot, forgotten about the first shot.
Stockley Park will analyse that whole passage of play from start to finish and see.
You'd like to think so.
And then it's the referee, oh, by the way, Mike, I think you might have to come over and have a look at the screen, because
ideally,
I think I've seen a handball incident, not in the second one, but in the first one. And this is where the confusion is with everybody. is that the referees will not come over and have a look at the screen and make their own minds up on a decision that was clearly a penalty.
But whoever's Stockley Park, the screen on the side of the pitch, whatever, if that first incident was looked at, it's got to be a penalty pretty much, hasn't it? You know, but they
well, they mustn't have looked at it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Or they mustn't have, or they must have seen it, but you can't bring it to the referee's attention because he hasn't asked for that clip to be
right, okay.
seen.
Well, there's another
and then
ridiculous law then as well.
He can't go back to Stockley Park can't go back and say, oh, there's a handball, but you haven't asked to see it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
This is where the referee at Stockley Park has to tell a referee on the pitch to go and look at the TV monitor and say, we found a handball incident. But they don't. It's crazy.
No, very disappointing.
One way or another, they got it wrong.
I told you we weren't speaking about this. Let's move on. Come on.
Right, coming up on Matchday Minus Two, we'll hear from Harvey Barnes and preview the visit of Chelsea here to King Power Stadium on Saturday.
Saigon.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey, taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Welcome back to Matchday Minus Two here on LCFC TV, Facebook and Twitter with me, Dan Bates, Matt Elliott and Gerry Taggart. Now obviously Tuesday is out the way and Harvey Barnes, who created the equaliser for Leicester City, has been saying that the group will now use the disappointment of the Villa Park result to motivate them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you say, it's a disappointing game to come through. But yeah, I think it's how we deal with that, how we take the positives out of that and use it to motivate us going for the rest of the season.
I'm sure Brendan would have said it on the night, but it probably didn't mean too much at the time because of how it felt to go out. But still, so much to play for in this season. If you were, I don't know, 11th now and out of the FA Cup as well, it could have been a really difficult end to the season. But now there's no option really but to get back on the horse straight away.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we know that as a squad. Obviously, still in the FA Cup. So in that respect, if we can progress in that, we could have a similar sort of situation. Obviously, for us, we're in a good position in the league, so we want to keep progressing and taking each game as it comes. But you know, we need to make sure our results in that are spot on.
It's an obviously disappointed Harvey Barnes speaking there, Gerry. And in the group, we talked about it before the game, didn't we? The mix of youth and experience in there.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of young players, Harvey being one of those. How much do you think this result will A, hurt him, but B, be such a huge learning curve for him moving forward? And if Leicester do get in these positions, which you hope they will do with this squad again soon, maybe even this season in the FA Cup, that they use that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, you know, you have to learn from you learn from more from your defeats than you do from your wins and disappointments. And obviously Tuesday night was a major disappointment throughout the season. You know, you could see the reaction of Villa players and fans when they won, and you can imagine that was the other end of the scale for the Leicester players back in the dressing room. So, but you have to use it as a tool to motivate and galvanise the squad. And I think that's what Brendan Rodgers and his team are very, very good at. So I can't see it having any long-term effect on the players, if I'm being honest.
I guess in a sense it's a little bit like you guys when you lost the 99 Cup final and you used that disappointment as a motivational tool. Martin O'Neill obviously did that, and you came back a year later and won it. So you hope that this Leicester team might be able to do something similar.
That's the intention, isn't it? I mean, you know, they'll channel their thoughts and their disappointment in the right way, of course, and they've got the manager in place who's aware of that situation. You know, the very next morning he was flipping it on its head almost, and you know, and then turning a negative into a positive, saying, right, we can use this as inspiration down the line. Excuse me. You know, on an individual and on a group level going forward, and that's the right way to approach it. But yeah, you can put all your efforts in. You can prepare yourself as well as possible. You can learn from old lessons. It's not a guarantee that things are going to work down the line. You know, we didn't know. All intents and purposes, say in the final 99, we thought we would have the upper hand, and if we applied ourselves properly, which we did, it would go well. It didn't. Just because we gave an extra concerted effort wasn't guarantee that we were going to win the competition the next year.
Tony Cotty was convinced that his time was over as far as winning the trophy.
Yeah. Martin came up and told him on the pitch, didn't he, afterwards? Don't worry, Tony, we'll win it again next year. We'll make up for it next year. And it proved to be the case, but Martin's good, but he didn't know 100%. But like I say, channel it in the right way, which I'm sure Leicester will. It's not fortunate because it's as a result of their efforts, but they've got a massive game to play in at the weekend, you know, which has got loads around it, a lot of expectancy there, but rather go into a game like that, where to try and consolidate their place in the Champions League position. FA Cup, fifth round is looming as well. What an occasion that is. Home tie, great opportunity there as well. So lots to look forward to. Rather that than coming out of the semi-final of the Cup and the disappointment into a relegation doom and gloom battle, then it really is difficult, I think. But Leicester have got, there's still an air of positivity around the club, and they'll deal with that. It's part and parcel of football, highs and lows. Leicester have had more highs than lows of late, and will continue to do so, I'm sure. Yeah, and it's obvious, Gerry, there's huge games still to come. There's massive things for Leicester to strive for towards the end of the season, not least starting with Chelsea here on Saturday. Yeah, great game. Excuse me, to get back on the horse, so to speak. They're nearest and dearest rivals, but just below them, I think. They're still in fourth. Their form isn't electric, Chelsea, but they still find themselves in the top four. I think they've only won 4 out of their last 10 in the Premier League, that is. That's an unbelievable record to the teams. Isn't it? All the teams that are vying for fifth stroke fourth spot. Now it's almost like similar scenario to last year, isn't it? In the latter stages, everyone's nobody wants everyone else, aren't they? Yeah, so which works well for Leicester. So it's a good opportunity, I think. Obviously Chelsea come with they're a big bandwagon. Do you know what I mean? One of the big 3 or 4 clubs, but. That hasn't been the case this season for Frank Lampard. He's had a bit of a struggle. And it'll be interesting to see how Leicester react, but I'm expecting a really positive reaction
to this game. And, you know, again, I'd probably make them favourites to win it.
It was a bit of a damn squib, the game against Chelsea here last season. It was the last game of the season. Neither side had anything to play for. So I guess you can look back at the Stamford Bridge result earlier in the season, the 1-1. Wilfred Ndidi going from 0 to hero on the day that day.
Yeah, and I think on that occasion, Leicester were a little bit sloppy in the first half. This sort of typified it, really. But, they looked in a spot of bother, didn't they? But they came back into it and you know, were much the stronger side, weren't they? You know, acquitted themselves superbly. I mean, not just Wilfred's equaliser there, but in general play, it looked good.
The old zonal marking again there from Chelsea.
Yeah, non-existent zonal marking. But Chelsea still got quality, you know, and when they hit form, that they are a handful for any team, but they've also got frailties as well. So, yeah, it's got all the makings of a real evenly contested but exciting game with two good footballing sides.
Both teams that want to go forward and want to attack. That's
yeah.
what makes this one a real juicy one, because you're going to see two attractive football teams go head to head.
And you referenced, Gerry, the league table. Leicester 14 points clear of 5th, 8 points clear of Chelsea, who obviously then have those remaining teams breathing down their necks. So who is it a bigger game for, do you think, at the weekend?
Oh, without a doubt, it's a bigger game for Chelsea. Without a doubt. You know,
well, if they lose it, so Leicester win, 11 points clear, all of a sudden they're only looking over their shoulders, Chelsea, aren't they? They're not looking forward, not looking above them all of a sudden.
No, it's a bigger game for Chelsea without a doubt. You know, Leicester have that cushion, that 8-point cushion. But after a defeat like Tuesday night, you normally see a real positive reaction. Because Leicester, let's face it, Leicester are a good team. They're not in third place for no reason, as a fluke, because it's the league. They're there on merit, and so you're expecting a really positive reaction against Chelsea because of that.
Well, hopefully so, and you can, of course, listen to every single minute of the game with Chelsea here on Saturday at King Power Stadium. It's an early kick-off, so our coverage starts at 9:30. Before that, though, on Friday evening, the under-23s are in action away at Chelsea. You can watch that one, of course, for free on LCFC TV. And then Extra Time returns on Monday evening to hopefully dissect the win over Chelsea at the weekend. You'll be there, won't you, Chelsea, for the under-23s, Matt?
Will I? It's debatable at the moment. I think James Scowcroft is threatening to make an appearance.
Okay.
In
your absence.
Possible absence, yes.
Okay, let's give us a quick prediction then ahead of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, Chelsea. Right, let's go. That's a positive. 2-1 Leicester. Barnes, Vardy. There we go.
I'll go same scoreline, 2-1 Leicester. I'll go Maddison, Vardy.
Well, let's hope you're both correct. As we said there, you can listen to it all, of course, on LCFC Radio. But that's it for us here on Matchday Minus Two. Thank you very much for watching.